Greetings everyone, this is the Beef speaking. First and foremost, I must say that it feels extremely good to be back to Mechwarrior and its most welcoming community. Could I come, please?
You even tried to talk like the Beef. Oh my god, shut up, kid. I had to bust you in the face.
Today, we will be going over the Locust, one of my personal favorite. The combination of small size and speed makes it one of the most abusable and aggravating mech to face. Scaling with the pilot's skills, of course. But first, a basic readout. The Locust is a light-class battle mech known for its speed and agility. One of the smallest mechs ever built, the Locust was introduced in 2499 and quickly became one of the most common light mechs in the Hemisphere. Through sheer mass production, its design emphasis on mobility and reconnaissance, making it ideal for hit-and-run tactics and scouting missions. The Locust remained in service throughout multiple succession wars, and even ended up facing far superior technology and the clan invasion. The Locust is extremely nimble, using its phenomenal speed to outrun most mechs. Its primary role is to gather intelligence and harass enemy forces, disrupting their formations and drawing fire away from friendlies. The mech is lightly armored, a ridiculous 4 tons of armor, making it vulnerable in direct combat. However, its speed allows it to avoid enemy attacks and strike where the opponent is weakest. The standard armament of the Locust includes a simple laser and arm-mounted machine guns for anti-infantry purposes. Despite its laughable small amount of weaponry, the Locust's top speed and maneuverability makes it a challenging target to hit. Speed is the real weapon here. The ability to reposition itself into the most advantageous situation, outmaneuvering enemy mechs to get that juicy back armor attack. Throughout the various eras, the Locust has remained a popular choice among mercenary units due to its speed and most of all, its extremely cheap cost of production. It can be a laughable decoy or has the potential to become a real threat, depending on the skills of the Mechwarrior piloting it. The Locust has become an iconic symbol of light mech design, not carried by weapons or armor, but a tremendous amount of horsepower to scout, kite, deceive, and harass the opposition, making enemy Mechwarriors go mad through sheer pressure. Instead of using the Locust for reconnaissance, I plan to use it in the most offensive way I can think of. First off, let's upgrade our armament. We will be using the 3V variant. It is a direct upgrade to the original 1V, featuring an additional laser mount, but with even less armor. We will be upgrading the weaponry quite a bit as well, replacing the regular medium lasers with prototype X-pulse lasers. Instead of firing one powerful beam, X-pulse lasers maintain several laser beams fired off continuously. The drawback is we really have to stare at the target to maintain the multiple laser burns and do the damage. These prototype lasers are the perfect synergy for our machine guns, since they are also a continuous weapon. The more we stir, the greater the damage. Machine guns are more of an anti-infantry weapon and don't do much against mech armor, but they are excellent for critical hits. Once that armor is gone, chewing through mech internals easily, we will still be upgrading to heavy machine guns, trading tonnage and range for more stomping power. In spite of the local streamer group making fun of my build.
Advanced Zoom Medium X-Pulse Heavy Machine Gun.
Why?
I just lost a brain cell there.
What they don't know is we overclock our laser cycle to maximize our DPS, as well as double a machine gun rate of fire for greater burst damage. And I use Advanced Zoom not to scout, but to give field proctology exams to enemy mechs. Stalker? Good. To the butt. Advanced Zoom? kill. Now, since speed is the Locust's greatest weapon, we must learn some maneuvers to make this machine truly shine. We use these maneuvers to trick, deceive, and strike the enemy and their weak spot. First and foremost, having good awareness is crucial for the Locust, because even one direct attack can cripple our mech quite easily. We have to avoid direct combat at all costs. Also, an important note, not to step into friendly line of fires to avoid easily prevented accidents. The Locust has a tendency to get team killed quite easily.
Left flag critical damage. Right torso
Oh, dude, I'm so
critical
sorry.
damage.
Be careful, he doesn't get beyond it. It's so light.
Oh my god, this is awesome, dude. Ah!
Fight's not an F7.
I'm sorry, dude. I just team killed my Locust.
It's good, man.
I'm so sorry, dude.
It's good.
Oh my god!
What the fuck?
Apart from our highly trained eyeballs, we can also use equipment to enhance our awareness, such as UAVs. The UAV, or Unmanned Aerial Vehicle, is a deployable support drone that provides valuable reconnaissance information to the team. This drone hovers above the battlefield, scanning the surroundings and marking enemy positions on the minimap for limited duration. The UAV even shows us which direction these mechs are facing, which is really helpful for backstabs. We also have the Seismic Sensor. The Seismic Sensor module detects vibrations caused by the movement of other battle mechs within a certain radius, allowing us to be aware of enemy positions, even if they are not within direct line of sight. By analyzing the seismic data, we can make informed decisions about our own positioning and strategy. It is extremely helpful to avoid enemies we don't need to face, like an Atlas around the corner. I lost my machine gun. No. Oh.
You boys ready for your cock meat sandwich?
The most important thing is focus. Keep moving always and avoid getting distracted, like I did passing this defeated clone Hellfire mech. The Hellfire features extremely long and girthy heavy laser barrels.
God damn.
And I couldn't stop myself staring at it. That thing is so good. I got distracted by the massive donger of a laser that was on that guy. Oh my god. What can I say? I'm only human, after all. With all this intel combined, it should greatly boost our chances of surviving on the field. Next up is the Serpentine maneuver. The Serpentine is when we move in a zigzag pattern to evade enemy fire, like a snake. The erratic movement pattern makes it harder for enemies to predict and target the trajectory of our fast-moving Locust. It works quite well and it saved my life many times. One thing a good Serpentine cannot dodge are local missiles. Strict missile launchers are fire and forget guided missiles that automatically lock onto targets and track them until impact, making them highly accurate against moving targets. What's up, dude?
Acquired.
What? No amount of evasive maneuvers can dodge a guided Shriek missile. That weapon is extremely efficient against the lightest mechs in the game, such as the Locust. Shriek mechs have only one goal in mind, to defend their team from pesky light mechs.
Yeah.
Wait, no. Oh, that's Shrieks. I'm so dead. Shrieks, I hate Shrieks, I hate Shrieks. I hate you.
Hey.
That's why we will be running to the other side of the map when we see a Shriek mech. No, the classic backstab. All mechs have a common weak spot and that's, you guessed it, is the back armor. Targeting the back is the best way for us to quickly take down most targets. Using our laser as a can opener and our machine guns to critical hit the juicy components inside, such as the engine. right in the bum. A subtype of backstab I'll be doing as well. The butt stab, the back pelvic area of a mech, or the diaper, also called as the back armor. It is imperative that we target transfer to the butt when the enemy mech inevitably reacts to our backstab and twist his torso away, allowing us to finish him anyway. I'm just gonna engage that last one, busy.
25% of the enemies are...
You got a tight little man pussy on you, don't you? Oh, it stinks.
Right in the bum.
Welcome to the club, buddy.
That was a fresh at last, that went fast. The butt stab, always effective. Clapping cheeks, if you will. Another type of backstab is the side torso backstab. After analyzing the targeting data, we can determine if the enemy mech has important components in the side torsos, such as an Excel engine, or even highly volatile ghost rifles. In that case, we can target the back side instead of the back center of a mech, and assure a kill that way by creating those important components. A good example is when I spotted this cataphractic heavy battle mech in my scouting run. He was isolated, well, for the most part. There's a Stormcrow up there. Making him the perfect target. Upon analyzing the targeting data, trying to determine the fastest way to destroy him, I noticed the two ghost rifles. Since he's carrying such a heavy loadout and going regular speed, I can then deduce he has an Excel engine, which extends to both side torsos. So I decided to go for the right backside, making sure to avoid the arm-mounted ghost rifles. Get the crit, come on! Before he met his demise, he made sure to target me, notifying his team of my presence. It also happens that the Stormcrow we spotted on the wall earlier was in fact a Shriek Light Hunter. That guy streaks? Wait, I'm dead. Oh no. Now, it's time for the true dirty and the mud tactics. The leg lock. A maneuver where we place the entirety of our mech Mew strength against the leg of a much larger target, blocking the movement forward or backward, doing something so reckless at the cost of scraping our own armor, stops the enemy in their tracks and confuses them for a moment, giving us the opportunity to strike. Here is the maneuver in action. My teammate reported the presence of a war snipers that could potentially cost us the battle, so I went up there to investigate and spotted an extremely dangerous mech, the Annihilator. 100 tons assault class battle mech, designed to instill fear and total despair upon its opponents, with an absurd amount of long-range firepower, a mighty tower of guns, and this particular Annihilator was retrofitted for prolonged long-range combat, with quad binary laser cannons, the equivalent of 8 large lasers.
That's a lot of damage!
I proceed to execute the leg lock maneuver and start drilling through his right leg armor. The Annihilator pilot starts panicking as he quickly realizes he cannot see or shoot me due to our height difference, me being the smallest and him being the largest mech in the game. Once the right leg is destroyed, I quickly switch the leg lock position and start walking on the left. I'm slowly realizing I'm clearly a bad person for doing this, so I leave him with bright red structural damage and switch the leg lock direction repeatedly to nudge him towards the edge of the very high wall we are standing on, hoping gravity will finish the job for me.
And I appreciate it.
Drop.
I missed it during the play, but thank you.
That's my first time in 10 years. I killed someone by pushing them off a wall. I'm sorry. Going for legs can be effective, as most heavier mech pilots will remove ammo from their legs for more guns. They will even store ammo down there, which explodes easily when facing our high crit chance machine guns. So the next maneuver focuses solely on destroying mechs by removal of their legs. The Tornado Maneuver, our main move. Our Locust was specifically designed to execute said maneuver. We downgraded our engine on purpose, so we can run the perfect and tightest circle around a large mech. We also opted for sustained fire weapons, which is perfect because legs can be shot from all directions, contrary to back armor. How to do a successful tornado maneuver. After designing the target, hit maximum speed and start aiming at the leg on the side we are engaging. Once an optimal range of our machine guns, fire our weapons and do not stop until the target is destroyed. Perfectly track the laser burn on that one leg. Now, for the most important part, when our torso exactly hits a 90 degrees arc, make a hard anchor turn and maintain it. Once the leg is gone, quickly target transfer to the other one, interrupting the fire when the dead leg is in the way. Override and push shot if the hit levels get critical. Simple geometry. And the next battle, as I was initiating my scouting run, I spotted a clown bloodasp 90 tons mechs and the C configuration. This variant has the biggest cluster autocannons available, mounted on both shoulders, and an impressive array of lasers. And he was waiting for us. I have no choice but to engage, knowing full well his loadout can destroy my Locust in one shot. He caught me in the open, so I engage on a Serpentine approach right away, dodging his autocannon salvo. I take cover behind a hill, making use of our small size. As I see his lasers burn the dirt, I move to the rock formation next to him. My radar deprivation module warns me he lost target when he lost line of sight on me. So I proceed to do a juke and turn 360 degrees, breaking my vector of entry completely. I get out of cover to engage, and is looking to his right, waiting for me to come out of the other side. The juke worked. I take the opportunity and execute a tornado maneuver right away, knowing full well his shoulder autocannons cannot reach me while my Locust is that close. As I take the first leg, he cannot track me for a full laser burn through the tight and fast rotations. Once the last leg is open, I hard brake and execute a leg lock, stopping his own rotations, killing blow. It's all, my friend. If I make it in, I will. That's the rule. Just in time for my team's reinforcement to arrive. Now that the rear guard is gone, we can surround the enemy team and win the battle. Next tactic, the Shutdown Juke. That maneuver is when you intentionally shut off your fusion engine to eliminate any signatures, making you untargetable but not invisible. We cannot move while being shut down, making this maneuver quite risky. But the lack of movement and targeting data, combined with the small stature of the Locust, means we can fool enemy pilots. A complete vanishing act, if you will. It is a great way to disengage if you are out of options, but it all depends on how sneaky you are. It was too late.
I have potato blood in my veins. My life, it's potato.
The Shutdown Juke can also be used to ambush incoming enemy forces. I have a plan. Use target, Shutdown Juke. Backstab. Yes. And you can also use the maneuver to evade mechs chasing you. I should take his back actually. He's coming back, Shutdown Juke. Nothing here, friend. Turn around, it's okay. Go back up. Back it up. Go! The hunter becomes the hunted. Run. The bomb strike. We called in Earth support by deploying a smoke signal on a designated point. Then, an allied aircraft flies over the field to deliver their payload. The carpet bombs comes in and a response time of roughly 8 seconds. Not bad. Since we are saturating an area with bombs, we need to be careful the target is clear of any friendly units before calling in the airstrike. I'm gonna commit a war crime. He wants me. Oh no. Oh no, no, please, please, no. No, 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 no. I'm so sorry. Now, the bomb strike maneuver combines the airstrike's carpet bombs with a surgical alpha strike from our mech on the ground. It is a great way to deal with entrenched enemies who are unaware of our presence for a quick burst of damage.
All call signs, check in. This is Poo Poo 2, standing by.
Woo! For example, I spotted this Warhammer heavy mech that was heading towards a firing line position. The Warhammer pilot is unaware of my presence, but is also surrounded by his teammates. If I engage him, I have to finish him quickly, so I wait for him to entrench and then I call in air support. Earlier, after analyzing his loadout, I determined that all 4 of his autocannons are torso-mounted, which means he does not have the weapon depression to shoot my Locust with them. Completely at my mercy, I finish the Warhammer quickly and leave before his team can retaliate.
Got one.
Next, the tactical retreat, the most important maneuver. As a Locust, we have the ability to disengage any situation, so we should never take fights where we don't have an advantage. Never take fair fights. Always create unfair fights instead. If you don't like it, hit that brick. That is how the Locust can truly shine. It is like this enemy Locust pilot who witnessed me backstabbing 2 of his friends and decided to engage with me in a fair fight. Yeah, no. We don't do those. So I tactical retreat and Serpentine away to my own team's firing line. The enemy Locust still following closely behind. My teammate wasn't turning around to assist, so I shoot a few machine gun rounds onto his leg to grab his attention. It is now an unfair fight, so I finally decided to engage. Filthy. You have now witnessed most of the maneuvers I use while piloting light mechs, such as the Locust. They were important to mention because they are tools, part of our arsenal, using speed as a weapon. Now that I've explained my train of thought, we can proceed to drop into our first battle. HPG Manifold. This hyperpulse generator station houses the means for humanity to communicate across the stars. It is our sacred duty to protect it from the incoming mercenary unit. The battle is 12 mechs versus 12 mechs, 3 full lenses on each side. We have no further intel on what's coming, so our initial scouting run will be important. The dropships release our forces, and I notice I am the only light mech for this operation, so I will be completely alone for that first engagement. I rush to the basement of the map to get some seismic readings to relay to my team. I expected to see some enemy light mechs to maybe contest our position, but something far greater entered the basement. The Kodiak. 100 tons totem mech of the Ghost Bear clan, the apex of the Ghost Bear's ideology given mechanized form. And this is a Spirit Bear, a custom variant of the Kodiak. The Spirit Bear has a devastating close-range loadout, more than enough weapons to destroy our puny Locust and one shot. The Spirit Bearer is also compatible with the mask system, allowing this assault mech to increase its speed beyond its limits, which explains why he's aiming to flank my team right now. All I know is that those claws are purely cosmetic, and that most of his weapons are torso mounted.
Your little pussy belongs to me.
The Kodiak pilot spots me and tramples forward. I wait and cover, watching my seismic sensor pings. When he gets too close, I sprint out of cover, my Locust being too small for his initial volley to reach me. Execute tornado maneuver. He tries to hit me with his arm-mounted lasers, but cannot keep track of my position for full burn. Perfect circle. Circular motion. Leg lock maneuver. Pin him against the wall. Destroy his remaining leg. Good night, friend. Like that thing has Quad Arm 6, LBX-20, mask. It's absolutely terrifying. But facing a Locust, no problem. He may be tall, but I brought him down to my level. With an important cavalry mech off the field, I converge to the eastern side, where the enemy is pushing, and I see an Annihilator holding the ramp. I quickly move out of his line of sight and wait to ambush. I notice multiple mechs on my Seismic Sensor coming in. A lot of mechs. Execute Shutdown Juke maneuver. I have a prime shot on the Annihilator's back, but decide to hold off because he's surrounded by red forces. I wait until the enemy team spreads out, so the Annihilator is isolated for a few seconds. A window of opportunity. Tornado, engage. A little bit too wide here. Tighten the circle. Leg lock to stop his tracks and finish him off. We're good.
Thank you for the assist.
Enemy Locust came in just in time to witness the demise of his friend. But I decide to disengage since I do not take fair fights. I proceed further east and scout a direwolf on the wall. Knowing that the wall is a prime sniping position, I break off and take the long way to investigate. I need to reach this ramp to reach the direwolf. When I take the ramp around and finally reach the top, I realize that the direwolf is long gone. He dropped and joined his main force. Where's my boy? I think I've been baited. This was a huge waste of time. I need to rejoin my team ASAP, so I choose to jump off the wall, damaging my legs. We are reaching the endgame, so time is of the essence. Coming from a peculiar angle, I catch a linebacker heavy mech off guard and decide to go for a backstab. He is one shot but quickly faces me to protect his precious back, giving my ally the opportunity to finish him with a long-range missile volley. Next target, Rifleman Ducey. I go for a backstab, but he quickly reacts. I tactical retreat right away, since my Locust cannot withstand a direct barrage of autocannon fire. Seismic Sensor detects something on the top platform. I decide to investigate and discover an entrenched rifleman and the process of destroying my team down below. I cannot sustain a prolonged fight with a rifleman, so I decide to execute the bomb strike maneuver, calling in air support.
3-1, standing by.
5, 6, 7, 8. This is now a 2v4 situation. I drop down to assist my only remaining teammate. Fire starter light mech. Excel engine deduced. Target right torso. Excel. Hey, don't shoot me. I'm friendly. I move past the friendly fire and engage the rifleman. Tornado maneuver. I got legged.
Enemy mech destroyed.
My leg destroyed by the dire wolf. I used the aforementioned corpses as cover.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Last enemy. Hostile Locust targets my remaining leg. I gamble and go for the torso kill. Help! And it got... Oh.
Destroyed.
Oh my god.
Good game, guys. Good job.
My leg, cherry red.
Bum, you did good, man.
Our last bullet was enough to get a lucky critical hit on his engine, ending the game. Through good decision making, we ended up killing half the enemy team with the smallest mech available. That is the potential power of the Locust. Thank you for watching. This video is way longer than I anticipated, but light mechs are always a little bit more complicated to showcase. If you would like to support my future projects, please consider becoming a patron. The link is in the description. A tremendous amount of work and heart goes into each video, so every bit of help is appreciated. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. I love you.